Regrettably, we found that China has been attempting to interfere in our upcoming 2018 election, coming up in November, against my administration. They do not want me or us to win because I am the first president ever to challenge China on trade. And we are winning on trade. We are winning at every level.
President presiding at the UN this morning by accusing another Security Council member of trying to undermine the U.S. electoral process. Not Russia, mind you, but China. Hours later, during today's 81-minute presidential news conference, Eamon Javers of CNBC tried to get out a few more specifics.
Earlier today and just now, you made a significant allegation against the Chinese government. You suggested that the Chinese had meddled in or are meddling.
That's right.
In
That's what I hear.
Midterm election.
That's what I hear.
What evidence do you have of that, sir? Is there a national intelligence estimate?
We have evidence. It'll come out. Yeah, I can't tell you now, but it didn't come out of nowhere, that I can tell you.
The president went on to say that despite his tough stance on trade, China has total respect for him and his, quote, very, very large brain. Later, Mark Landler of the New York Times again brought up China's alleged election interference.
How would you compare the level of interference you see today from the Chinese to what Russia did in 2016?
Well, I think it's different. If you look at the Des Moines Register, they have ads that are made to look like editorials saying about, oh, you got to stop Trump, you got to stop him, you got to vote against him.
President Trump's answer eventually went on for a total, you get the picture, of 2 minutes, 39 seconds with hand gestures. At no point in the reply did the president mention the words Russia or Putin, which brings us to our next guest. Clint Watts is back with us, a veteran of the FBI who is currently a senior fellow with the Foreign Policy Research Institute and conveniently the author of Messing with the Enemy, Surviving in a Social Media World of Hackers, Terrorists, Russians, and Fake News. Clint, this took a lot of us by surprise. Does China represent a more clear and present danger to our election process than Russia?
I think it took the Chinese by surprise, too, based on their faces.
It was clear they were getting the translation.
There's just some interesting phrasing from the president. China does take ads out in newspapers. They've done this for a long time. Routinely. Many countries actually do this in the United States, trying to push whatever their policy position would be. And there are actually many countries that fund think tanks or donate to think tanks in the United States to try and, actually push their agenda. But it's overt, and they claim that they do this. It's not a hidden thing. This is wildly different. The other thing the president said is against him in 2018. He made it sound as if China is running against his electoral campaign in 2018, as if he's confused that he's not actually running for election, that there are congressmen running for election. And what this really comes down to is they've always tried to push this, that it could be someone else or everybody is doing it. This is the rationalizing of what we heard in the election. And so it's very consistent. Whenever the president was challenged about the Russian interference in the election in 2016, very early on, he would throw, well, it could be China, it could be somebody else.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.